XRP is about to change everything. But why? Why would I say that? Why would I consistently, since 2020, talk about the mechanism of deflationary assets? Well, I'm going to show you today how M2 money supply is increasing around the world and the direct correlation between M2 money supply, things like Bitcoin, and XRP that have fixed supplies. So on my channel, I want to share with you the why behind it, not what to invest in, because I see that's where a lot of people get wrecked. They ask what to invest in, they get emotionally attached to these markets, and they don't understand at a deep level how wealth is built. So throughout this week, I'm going to share with you some pretty powerful things. How the Trump family has built in 18 months almost as much wealth as they built over a lifetime of real estate. Your system is changing as you know it. And this week is extremely, extremely important. We saw Trump hanging out at the Fed building, right, putting pressure on Jerome Powell. This Wednesday, the Fed's meeting, which I'm going to show you. And then we're going to end this video by showing Brad Garlinghouse talking about the hidden road and how trillions of dollars are going to be coming through these asset classes. So first, let's start with M2 money supply. And on the back end of every video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing. I peel back the curtain, okay? So I want you to see this first. This is by Cointelegraph, and this came out on July 25th, 2025. What I wanted you to see is the M2 money supply has hit an all-time high. Let's pause for just a moment and ask what this means. So they're printing, okay, in a high debt environment. China's at 300% debt to income ratio. America's at 120% debt to income ratio. And they're about to turn these printing machines on full blast. Now, the interesting thing is we're in this transition monetarily from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, an old archaic banking system to a new faster banking system. So money's going to move at the speed of light. ISO change now, messaging's moving at the speed of light. Now money needs to move at the speed of light and supply chain needs to move at the speed of light. That's how I do my investments. Now, here's the thing. With taxes coming down, right? With them printing money and lowering interest rates, hopefully they start this week. I hope they start this week. I'd love to hear your opinion down below. I'll tell you when the meeting's going to be. When they lower interest rates, remember your dollar is worth less. Okay. We're going to have a booming economy over the next 3 years, but those who position themselves properly will be on the right side of this after 2029. But if you don't transition into deflationary assets with fixed supplies, your dollar is going to continue to be worth less. And this is a reason right here, M2 money supply. You can't just keep printing in a low interest rate environment and hold on to fiat, fake currency with no backing and think that you're going to continue to get wealthier. Okay, here's a direct correlation. This is Bitcoin and M2 growth globally. Okay, you can see this back since 2000, I think goes all the way back to 2009 back here. This is 2013. Okay, you see a direct correlation. The black line is BTC price and the blue line is the M2 money supply. Okay, so if we transition up here, we see the blue line is M2 money supply. See where they're directly correlated. It's coming down. Okay, boom, it's shooting up. M2 money supply is going up. Bitcoin's price is going to continue to go up as they lower interest rates. So you're going to see this next. Trump says he believes Powell is ready to start lowering rates. So we don't know what they talked about behind the scenes when he was at the Fed building where they're spending billions of dollars. That was almost comical. It was an interesting thing to watch, man. Trump doesn't mess around with this type of stuff. It was an interesting, that picture right there, right? If you guys watch those videos, it was very uncomfortable to watch. It was like a little kid being, it was interesting. I just don't even know. It's almost like I'm like, is this real life? What's happening right now? So with Jerome Powell being forced to lower interest rates, now we do have the highest interest rates, some of the highest interest rates in the world. And high interest rates are destroying our economy. Okay. So what you're going to see is interest rates come down, weakens the dollar. Well, ironically, the Trump family is now stacked in what? Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, right? He built his blue chip crypto, which is Bitcoin, what they put in there, Solana, Ethereum, XRP. Think about this, guys. Okay. The ones that he tweeted about was Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano, and Bitcoin. These are the key asset classes that are going to be part of the future. Okay, now this is this Wednesday that this is coming up. This is on Wednesday, 7:30. Okay, the FOMC meeting, 2-day meeting, July 29th and 30th. On 4:15 p.m. on Wednesday the 30th, they selected interest rates. That's for commercial paper. Finance companies selected interest rates is on July 31st. So it'd be interesting to see if all that pressure that Trump put on Jerome Powell, that if he will lower interest rates. Okay. So this is the White House to release report on Wednesday. So this is a big week, guys. We got the interest rates. We'll see what happens with interest rates, and then the White House releasing the report and the feasibility of a national crypto stockpile per CNBC. Check this out.
According to the administration's crypto task force, that report will be a set of recommendations around potential regulation ahead, including the feasibility of a strategic national stockpile of crypto.
Okay, so I'm going to break down what that will mean, a sovereign wealth fund, in just a moment here. We're going to end this video with Brad Garlinghouse talking to us about the prime brokers like Hidden Road are helping unlock trillions in institutional trades by bridging TradFi and crypto, says Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Now, one thing I've told you since 2020, Ripple will become a bank. Coinbase will become a bank. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America will become crypto banks. So they are going to merge together, not as one, but they're all going to transmute into distributed ledger technology, on-demand liquidity, custody for crypto. So we are seeing a transformation in the financial system, and that's why it's so important for you to understand why you're investing, not what to invest in. That's how we made our infrastructural investments. That's why we stay out of meme coins. That's why we stay out of get rich quick. We're fundamental long-term. And so we built financial freedom by doing that inside and outside of crypto. Now we're going to build generational wealth over the next 5 years. I'm going to break down the whole pattern for you right after this video. But I want you to hear from Brad in a 1:10 video talking about how trillions of dollars are about to unlock.
Let's be honest, who is better, me or David Schwartz? Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse. This is Crypto in 1 minute. A prime broker is really a one-stop shop that allows all kinds of different asset managers, whether these are well-known hedge funds, trading desks, market makers. It gives them a one-stop shop venue to trade and clear everything from digital assets, derivatives, swaps, all kinds of different assets. And these guys are doing trillions of dollars of trades. Historically, those have been really owned by the traditional commercial banks, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs. Banks now don't do, well, new players like Hidden Road, a company Ripple bought recently, is new to this space. And
they're about to dominate the industry. JP Morgan, like, listen, guys, I told you Ripple is going to leave a dent in the universe. They are going to dominate the banking system. I believe they will be one of the #1 companies, and XRP will be one of the #1 digital assets.
They're growing very quickly by serving that same market, but also including digital assets as part of the mix. Having a well-capitalized, a super strong balance sheet player like Hidden Road is allowing more institutions to come into these asset classes against a well-capitalized counterparty, and that is prime brokers bringing people into crypto in 1 minute.
Boom. Okay, so that's what's happening now. So no longer are we in the wild, wild west. We are now in full adoption. Okay, remember what Draper says? First they resist it, then they sue it. SEC sued Ripple. Okay, they went after a bunch of companies. Okay, first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. We're now in regulation and joining phase, okay, which is adoption. So now we're going into adoption. Ripple applied to be a bank. Kraken applied to be a bank. Coinbase applied to be a bank. Crypto exchanges, it was always the plan. It's always the plan. We're going to become traditional banks where you'll be able to do all your banking. Now we have what's called DeFi coming in, decentralized finance. And now what I'm about to share with you is exactly how I built my ecosystem, and I practice what I preach. Everything I share with you is exactly what I'm doing. So I was able to create financial freedom by doing these steps. Number one, I focus on cash flow. Cash is trash. Why is it trash? Because if you don't beat a 2% inflation every single year, which is what the feds run, you become poor every single year because there's no backing to your dollar. Every dollar you get paid in someone else's debt. So I transmute every bit of cash that I get into something that is deflationary, which is number two, my assets that are deflationary. I believe in Bitcoin and XRP, excuse me, and I explain why. They have fixed supplies. Bitcoin is 21 million. It can never be printed. Okay, that supply gets released over the next 116 years. It creates it to be one of the most scarce assets in the world. 5% of the supply is gone. Okay, then you have XRP, which is a little bit different. XRP, all the supply is on the market. Okay, Ripple holds 50% in escrow. They release about $1 billion every single month, which is meant to be bought up by institutions. Okay, it is decentralized though. Don't quote me on the numbers. I think they run 4 validators and there's like 340 validators, so it's completely decentralized. Okay, but the beauty in XRP is there's a burn mechanism. Okay, every single time a transaction runs across, it has a burn mechanism, is it? So it's deflationary. It's opposite of the US dollar. So let me explain that. US dollar inflation, you become poorer as things become more expensive. Okay, they get you through inflation or taxation. Inflation is illegal taxation. So you work really hard and you take your money and you go get debt to borrow against your future self. What wealthy people do is they get money, they take it and they put it into assets, then they borrow against the assets to buy more assets to rent it to the working class and the working poor. Okay. We have to get on the other side of this. So we take cash flow, we transmute it into deflationary assets with fixed supply. Okay. Then I use number 3, which is protection. Okay, and I'll explain number 4, which is leverage. So 4 is protection. Three is protection, life insurance. I use cash value life insurance. They teach you how to insure your life. They teach you how to insure your car. They teach you how to insure your house. You insure your iPhone, but they don't teach you how to insure your wealth. Tax code 7702A that was created in 1913 allows you to borrow against cash value life insurance tax-free. Okay, so then we go into 4. Because I'm taking cash, I'm transmuting the cash into deflationary assets that appreciate. I'm now creating a bank over here with my Bitcoin and a bank here with my insurance. So every month I pump money into my premiums. When these appreciate on the back end of this year, boom, I max fund my policies. Now I have 2 banks sitting here. I have an insurance bank and I have a Bitcoin bank. And recently, in the recent past, I went to my Bitcoin bank. I borrowed at very low leverage. I bought an insurance brokerage. The insurance brokerage is paying it off, but check this out. I did it on a DeFi platform. Okay, I borrowed at 14%. My Bitcoin makes on average 50% a year. So I made 36% on my money. That's paid off. Boom. I basically own an insurance brokerage for free. So when that low leverage is paid off, guess what I'm going to do? Remember, key is low leverage, so you don't get liquidated. I borrow again and I buy more cash generating dividends. So every single time I get paid, I'm transmuting my cash into dividends that pay me cash. And then what do? I de-risk back into Bitcoin and XRP. So every day I buy Bitcoin and XRP. Every single week when I get paid dividends from my companies, because I didn't buy Lambos, watches, and big houses in the bull run from 2020 to 2022, we built businesses. We invested in cash flow. We invested in cash value life insurance. We built the infrastructure, and now we're feeding the infrastructure. Okay. So that was the first phase, which was, I would say, getting rich, right? Rich is different than wealth. The next phase, wealth, is 2025 to 2029. Wealth is where you can't even control the flow, and you got to really mess up to screw it up, right? You got protection components, you got money making money. That's the next phase. Getting rich, you see it from 2020 to 2022. Many people lost all their money after the bull run because they bought cars, they bought houses, they increased their lifestyle. We richest man in Babylon, okay, and the wisdom of King Solomon. Very, very spiritual. We got to make sure the money continues to flow. That's why it's called currency. Okay. What does a bank do? A bank in a river dams up your money. So you put it in a bank, they take your money and they make it current. We put ourselves in first position. We are the bank. Okay. When I get paid, I put myself in the bank's position. Okay. Banks make money in interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. So guess what? DeFi, I'm going to be making interest income. Okay. You'll be operating like the bank, and then you can leverage against yourself. You can put your own money in the capital markets. Okay. What happens is you're storing your money in a bank that is someone else's debt, that it's devaluing every single time they lower interest rates. Okay. Then you go take that debt and you make a payment from borrowing from your future self, which you're borrowing someone else's money, someone else's income, right? And then if you don't beat the 2% inflation, you become poor. That's why cash is trash. That's why the Trump family that's why their crypto portfolio is going to destroy the wealth that they've created. It's already in 18 months, they've made wealth-wise 600 million, coming up on $1 billion. Okay. Their True Social is top 5 corporation in a Bitcoin treasury. I'm going to do a video this week showing you who owns the Bitcoin, guys. I promise you, XRP and Bitcoin will be number 1 and number 2. So my top holdings are XRP number 1, and by a long shot, it will always be. Bitcoin is number 2. That's a store of value. That's where I store my excess fiat and capital. I use it as a bank. Okay, I use it very different. People say you can't build with Bitcoin. Complete bullshit. You absolutely can. Absolutely you can. It's one of the most scarce assets in the world. And you can leverage low leverage to buy cash flow, pay it off, and keep repeating that. Number 3 is Solana. Number 4 is XLM. Number 5 is HBAR. And number 6 to go top 6 is VeChain. I have many others as well, but those are my top 6. I'm not holding anything back. That's everything that I do, guys. Okay, so remember, write this down. Cash flow. Cash flow is king, not cash. Okay. Deflationary assets with fixed supply. Study. Get protection components. Okay. Nobody can touch my cash value life insurance. Nobody can touch that. Okay. I got my own bank going on over here. I'm sure my money's insured. My principal insured, I'm getting market-like returns. Then I have leverage. Then we use low leverage to buy more cash flow. Okay. And then eventually your family is free. So it is your job as the head of household to make sure that your ecosystem, so number 1 is God, then family. That family needs to be secured before you buy stuff. You don't buy liabilities until your family is locked and loaded, ready to go, and they're all taken care of. Then next is your ecosystem. So I own companies. I'm a CEO of multiple companies. I have 6 companies, and that's my responsibility, my decisions, my actions, my behaviors. I have team members that rely on us for food and shelter, right? My decisions, my actions, my behaviors, everything I do, every decision I make is very important. Okay. Then I stay out of other people's business. I'm too busy working on mine. That's why you don't see me respond to hate comments. That's why I don't get involved in lower frequency conversations. I'm too busy, and you should be too. So your homework, Richest Man in Babylon, read it, study it, read it over and over again. Study the wisdom of King Solomon. And men, study what happened to King Solomon. Study what happened to King Solomon. He had everything he needed. He prayed for wisdom, and God gave him everything, and he ruined it with lust. So let's lock in. Let's dial in. And if you need any support at all, I have everything I need for you in the description of this video or my social media platform. Okay, we have an insurance team. I have my own insurance brokerage. We can help you understand cash value life insurance, how to fund these properly, how to structure them properly, how we actually use them to build wealth and to use leverage for our family and to protect our family as well. We also have our 3T Warrior Academy. We've helped over 12,000 warriors worldwide. Number 1, your environment is everything. We have education. We teach you how to fish. We don't give you a fish. Now we fish right next to you to build a legacy. That's all my social media platform or linked in my bio. I love you guys. I appreciate it. This week is going to be pretty awesome. So let me share with you some of the stuff we're going to do. I'm going to be breaking down who truly owns Bitcoin so you can really, really dial in so you don't get fudded out of this. I'm also going to be breaking down, let me share some fun stuff with you guys. I got some cool videos. So I'll be traveling, so I'll be pre-recording these, but I want to get you ready for this week. So you do not want to miss this week. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm going to talk about the fiat scam, inflationary versus deflationary. I'm going to go deeper into that. I'm going to talk about how much the Trump family owns in cryptocurrency. And then we're going to be talking about, I'm going to talk about the Trump family specifically, and I'm going to show you how the treasuries work. We created a treasury for our company as well. And treasury is just a fancy word for the investments and the money and the cash within your ecosystem. But we basically modeled exactly what I do personally in our company, and it's our wealth is building fast. So lock in. We love you guys. It's going to be a great week. Make sure you share, like, and comment. Share this with a friend. Get this video out there, and let's help as many people as possible. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys.